Dr. Hovind gives solid evidence to show that this earth is not billions of years old. In fact, the evidence points towards a literal six-day creation, like told about in Genesis chapter 1. Hi, my name is Eric.
And we've allowed this philosophy of evolution, actually it's a religion, we've allowed this religion to take over our school system, our legal system. Our whole thinking process now is based on a philosophy which has zero scientific evidence. None. We've been offering $250,000 for anybody with any real scientific evidence for evolution. That offer's been out there about 12 years now. There is no evidence for it whatsoever. People believe in it, I understand, but that doesn't make it science. Now, okay, this is not my wife. That's just a picture of her. And I figured out how much money we have spent since we got married. We have spent all of it. Now, Hitler said, if you tell a lie long enough and loud enough and often enough, the people will believe it. He said they're more likely to believe a big lie than a small one. Actually, it's been proven in laboratory tests that nobody in the world smokes. Nobody smokes. Only the cigarette smokes. The person is the sucker. That's all. We like science. We have Dinosaur Adventureland in Pensacola. Come on down, pay us a visit. It's a science center, a museum, and a theme park, all based on creation. Everything we do has a science lesson and a spiritual lesson. We like science at our place. We have all kinds of fun things to do. We have a museum, all based on creation, and a science center with everything with hands-on science lessons and spiritual lessons. And I'm going to show you the scientific way to shoot a rubber band. You ready for this? Okay, now pay attention. The scientific way to shoot a rubber band. Okay? But what most people do wrong in rubber band shooting and in real life, they put the same emphasis on the flesh and the spirit. See, if you pull both sides the same and let it fly, and all the energy is wasted inside the rubber band because the flesh and the spirit are fighting with each other. So, the secret to high-speed velocity through a fluid medium such as the atmosphere, which offers resistance, is to minimize or eliminate the turbulence. What's going to happen if you do it right? The spirit leads the flesh. We like science. We're not against science. And I've learned how to win the debate on evolution in the first 5 minutes. It is so easy. Scientists don't even have a clue how a star could form. No even good theories about star formation. We'll cover more on that on video 7. We see stars blow up all the time. It's called a nova or a supernova if it's a big one. Well, that happens all the time. But we never see one form. And yet there's enough stars out there that we know about that everybody on planet Earth, every single individual, can personally own 11 trillion stars to yourself. Here we have a dog, a wolf, a coyote, and a banana. Which one is different than the rest of them? We have college professors can't figure that out. Okay? He fooled everybody by changing the word from kind to species. But the first 5 are purely religious. It's not science. We never observe any of those. So if you want to win the debate on evolution, simply define exactly what you're talking about. And you'll find all they ever give are examples of number 6. But then they imply that that is somehow magically evidence for the other 5. I think in science class we should be teaching science. Things we can observe and study and test and demonstrate. Things like the first law of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics tells us matter cannot be created or destroyed. Well, everything's made out of matter, so if matter cannot be created or destroyed, then how did the world get here? Somebody made the world. Or the world made itself. There's no other choice. So either somebody made the world like the Bible says, God created it, or the world just made itself like the humanists believe. It just is self-existing and not created. And so the professor took off on one of those answers that looked like it came straight from the textbook. He said, well, Mr. Hovind, I believe about 18 or 20 billion years ago. That's a long time. That's one crowded dot. And heavy, too. However, physicists theorize that from the state of nothingness, the universe began in a gigantic explosion. Yes, boys and girls, you see, one day, nothing exploded. Wow, Discover magazine here a couple years ago said, where did everything come from? Boys and girls, the universe burst into something from absolutely nothing. Zero, nada. As it got bigger, it became filled with even more stuff that came from absolutely nowhere. Alan Guth said in Scientific American, the observable universe could have evolved from an infinitesimal region. In the Hebrew, that's a dot. He said it's then tempting to go one step further and speculate that the entire universe evolved from literally nothing. You see, boys and girls, we all came from a dot, and the dot came from nothing. And they call that science and put it in a science journal? I think I'd call that a fairy tale and put it in the garbage. He said, well, Hovind, 20 billion years ago, all the dirt in the solar system was drawn into this little bitty tiny dot. and it was spinning. It spun faster and faster, and all of a sudden it exploded, Big Bang. And the pieces that flew off became galaxies and sun, moon, stars. And here we are, people, nothing but stardust. I said, well, sir, I got a question. You said 20 billion years ago all the dirt got together for the big squish and the big spin and the Big Bang. But you said 20 billion years ago there was a Big Bang and you don't know where the dirt came from. So basically, I believe in the beginning God and you believe in the beginning dirt. Don't tell me my theory is religious and your theory is scientific. No. They're both religious. It's not science versus religion. This is two religions. Evolution and creation are both religious. You have to believe in one or the other. The difference is the evolution religion is text-supported. The conservation of angular momentum. See, if a spinning object breaks apart, the pieces that fly off are going to spin the same direction because the outside's moving faster than the inside. If the universe began as a spinning dot, like you said, why do you think they're going backwards? I was hoping he was going to ask that. I said, sir, it's real simple. You see, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, and God did it that way on purpose just to make the Big Bang Theory look stupid. By the way, if the world came from a Big Bang and slowly evolved over billions of years, why did Jesus die on the cross? The Big Bang Theory is ludicrous for numerous reasons, okay? If the Big Bang Theory were true, the matter would be evenly distributed. Even Fred Hoyle said, I have little hesitation in saying the sickly pall hangs over the Big Bang Theory. The second law of thermodynamics tells us everything tends toward disorder. If you leave something alone for a while, it's going to rot, rust. Everything tends toward chaos. All you have to do is nothing, and everything deteriorates, collapses, breaks down, wears out. That's what the second law is all about. Everything is getting worse. Nothing's getting better. But the textbook says humans probably evolved from bacteria more than 4 billion years ago. There's only one thing that can actually use the sun's energy, and one little plant cell is more complex than a space shuttle. Now, evolution violates the second law, and evolution is wrong. Okay, this is going to be a picture of my brother when he first wakes up in the morning after his first cup of coffee. This will be my brother. Now, please don't laugh. He can't help it. There he is, right there. Anytime a textbook says millions of years ago, what it means is long ago and far away. That means a fairy tale is coming next, okay? That's your warning, fairy tale coming up. Kids are taught today there are no absolutes. I said, are you absolutely sure? Ask an atheist that question sometime. How do you tell right from wrong? He said, that's easy. I decide what's right and wrong.